Hi girls, hope all of you are fine. Today we are going to read the comprehension. So take out your comprehension books and open unit number 19, page number 42, Mrs. Wobble, the waitress. Mrs. Wobble is the name of a lady who is a waitress. When you go outside for lunch or dinner, so there in the restaurants, there are some persons who serve you food on your table. So they are called waiter. They are male, so the female person who serves you food on the table are called waitress. So let's start reading the passage. Mrs. Wobble, who keeps wobbling means trembling, shaking and dropping food, has been given the sack from the cafe where she worked. Sack means a large bag. So Mrs. Wobble, who is a waitress in a cafe, so when she serves food, she keeps on trembling and shaking and she just drops food on the floor. So the cafe fired her because of this habit. So they just gave her a bag so she can go home. Cheer up, Ma, they said. You will find another job in another cafe. But there were no other cafes. That was the only one in town. So her kids were just cheering their mother, that she will find another job. Obviously she was sad because she was just fired and she left her job. So but there was no other cafe in the town because there was only one cafe in the town and she was just fired from there. Mrs. Wobble knew this. There are no other cafes, she said, and she began to cry. As she knew that she has been fired from the job and there is no other cafe where she can work, so she began to cry. The children did not like to see their mother cry. It made them cry. It made their father cry too. So obviously, when their mother was sad and she was crying, so the kids couldn't see their mother crying, and also they started crying, and also the father also started to cry. Obviously, when your mother is sad about something or is worried about something, so obviously there is some kind of feelings of you to be worried as well. Then Mr. Wobble had an idea. So obviously at this sad moment they had to do something. The problem had to be solved. So Mr. Wobble came with an idea. I know what we can do, he said. We can open a cafe in our own. We can turn our house into a cafe. And they did. So the idea that he just gave them was that they wanted to turn their own house, their own place into a cafe, so that no one can fire Mrs. Wobble. So what they did it. They made their own place into a cafe. So the first customers arrived. Oh dear, said Mrs. Wobble. What if I? What could you girls just think of, like what if I? Can you complete this? What if I? What does she mean by this? What if I what? Obviously, what was her bad habit that she was fired from the previous cafe? Obviously, she was worried that what if I wobbled again and I dropped all the food. Mrs. Wobble wobbled with a bowl of soup. As you can see in the first picture, that she has a liquid soup in her bowl, and obviously she's trembling, she's wobbling, and most of the soup is just falling down. Miss Wobble, help, said the customer. So obviously when the customer saw this, that all the food that is coming to be served on the table is just about to drop. So Miss Wobble is the daughter, skated to the rescue. Skated is the past verb of skate, which means obviously to move on a roller skates. To the rescue. Rescue means to save. As you can note down the meanings of the words, you can just note down the meanings of the words. Wobbling means shake, sack, a large bag, cheer, shout for joy, skated, past verb of skate, which means to move on roller skates, and rescue means to save. You can note down these meanings. So obviously, when she was just going to serve the bowl of soup on the to the customer, she was wobbling, and Miss Kate just came skating on the roller skates and saved all the soup in the bowl in another bowl. So that was the idea through which they saved all the food. That's clever, the customer said. Mrs. Wobble wobbled with a roast chicken. Now you can see in the next picture, she has a chicken roast on her plate, and she is again, while serving the food, she is wobbling. Help, said the customer. Master Wobble is their son, skated to the rescue. Now, the first time, their daughter saved the bowl of soup, and in the second turn, their son saved the chicken roast. So he has a fishing rod, a net rod in his hands, and what is he doing? He is rescuing, he is saving the falling roast chicken. He caught the chicken in a net. Hooray, said the customer. Then all the customers cheered. This is more fun than a circus, they said. As obviously you can see, you can't see these normal kind of things in the restaurants and in any cafes. They don't do things like these, and neither the waiter or the waitress are wobbling while having the food in their hands. So obviously it just seemed like a circus going on. Like everything was obviously in a circus. You enjoy, you feel happy, you cheer. So as along with the food, they were enjoying as it was a circus as well. So as you see that every customer over there was cheering her up, so it means their cafe was going well. So now we will do you remember on the book? Read these sentences about the story, copy only the ones that are true. Just read the sentences and just write T if the sentence is true and in front of the sentence, and write F if it is false. This you will be do it on the book, and the next one more to think about, you will do it on the copy. All the 3 questions 1, 2 and 3 will be done in the copy. Choose the words from each column to make sensible sentences. Who did what when. You just have to match them on the book and then copy the sentences on the copy. Question number 2. Write a few sentences to tell how you think the story might finish. Try to make it interesting or funny. So what do you have to do? You just have to give the story a good finish in your own words. Try to think how can you make it interesting or funny. You can just put some ideas that they just arranged a circus in their cafe as well. They arranged many kinds of things. They used roller skates for the waitress because she wobbles a lot. You can add many things as you can think of. Question number 3. Write a summary of the story of Mrs. Wobble, the waitress, in your own words. Try not to use more than 40 words. So what do you have to do in the question number 3? Write a summary of the story. Summary of the story means just a short story. Means they have given you in paragraphs, but if there are 2 paragraphs, just make a summary of 1 paragraph that what actually has been happened in the story. So I hope you have enjoyed your comprehension passage and have a good day.